Welcome to the Nonprofit Safety Hero training on tools and equipment. I'm Nate, and I'm here to walk you through what you need to know. This course is intended for the staff, board, and volunteers of food banks, pantries, farmers markets, and any nonprofit organization that distributes food. Your mission is critical to your community, and using tools and equipment safely is critical to the success of that mission. Everyone has experiences with tools and equipment every day. From can openers to cars, we use tools to achieve goals in our lives. We also know that the improper use of tools and equipment can cause injury and harm. How can we avoid that? Safe use of tools and equipment starts before you even touch the tool. That's why we're starting off with the safety mindset. This is a thought process to use around all tools and equipment to make your work easier and avoid harm to yourself and others. Accidents and injuries cost money that nonprofits cannot afford. Making sure that every single member of your staff and volunteers has a safety mindset is a huge step towards keeping these costs down. When you have a safety mindset, you benefit from using tools and equipment, and you avoid these 4 areas of harm. Harm from not using a tool, harm from using the wrong tool, harm from using a tool in a bad condition, and harm from using a tool the wrong way. For example, a step stool is a tool. It's a very short ladder, right? So if you have a safety mindset, you would avoid these 4 scenarios. Number 1, not using a step stool. You can quite reach something, and when you try, you knock something heavy down onto your head. Ouch! Number 2, using a box instead of a step stool. The box collapses and you fall on the concrete floor. Another ouch! Number 3, using a step stool in bad condition. The step stool collapses and you fall just like when you use the box. Oof! And number 4, using a step stool the wrong way. You put a box on top of the step stool because it's not quite tall enough. When the box slips off, you fall to the concrete. Ow! Let's rewind that and use a safety mindset. First, you identify the task that needs to be accomplished. Next, you locate the correct equipment and make sure it's in good condition. In this case, there's a short ladder that will reach. You make sure you know how to carry it correctly and use it properly. You accomplish the task safely. No more ouches! And finally, you store the equipment properly for the next use. A safety mindset around tools and equipment has 3 main principles. Number 1, how tools and equipment are used impacts both your safety and the safety of others around you. How you use tools can harm you or others. How people around you use tools can harm you or others, as well as damage products, equipment, and infrastructure. Everyone has a role to play in a safe tool environment, even if the tool is not in your hand. Number 2, tools and equipment can increase both productivity and safety. It's important to use the right tool or equipment for the situation to achieve these goals. Number 3, your interaction with tools and equipment can be broken into 4 stages: care, use, storage, and transport. Everyone should participate in all 4 stages to ensure that everyone stays safe. You face a range of decisions when it comes to how to use tools and equipment. Let's break these down into a series of questions. We've put them into a decision tree for you. Look for it in the printed guide. First, am I even using a tool? If the answer is no, should I be using a tool? This very first question addresses how tools and equipment can be used to keep ourselves and others more safe. If the answer is yes, do I know how to use and transport it? If not, stop and ask for training. If you don't know how to safely transport a tool, you can be injured before you even start. Don't let pride or urgency stop you from asking for instruction. You could injure yourself or others, or cause damage to products, equipment, or infrastructure. If the answer is yes, is it the right tool? If not, find the right tool. If the answer is yes, then is it in good condition? If not, fix it. If the answer is yes, do I have the correct PPE to use it? If not, stop and get the right gear. If it's not available, you may have to find someone else to do this task or wait until another time. An example of this might be a day when you wore sandals instead of closed-toed shoes. If the answer is yes, do I know how to store and maintain it? If not, ask for training. If you don't know how to correctly store or maintain a piece of equipment, you could be setting someone else up for an unexpected injury. You left the blade open, but they expected it to be closed. Now they're off to the hospital for stitches. Finally, after you have answered yes to every one of these 6 questions, go ahead and use the tool. Before we move on, we're going to do an exercise. Think about a tool or equipment you've used recently. Walk through the decision tree and answer the questions. Were there any no's in your answers? What do you need to do before you use it again? Another area where you can increase safety is in your habits. A habit is a regular tendency or practice, often done without conscious awareness. According to research, habits happen in loops. A cue tells you to follow a routine, which gives you a reward. Here's an example of a habit loop related to a tool. You're unpacking pallets and you need to open a box of food. You grab your box cutter, open the blade, and cut the tape. Then you set the box cutter down on the box to the side. Knowing that you will have another box to open soon, you leave the blade open. When you move to the next box and open it, you get your reward, saving time because the blade was already out and open. Unfortunately, something else happens. Your colleague is passing by, and she stops and leans on that box to talk with you. She slices open the palm of her hand on your open blade. That's not the reward you were hoping for. Remember, routine can lead to complacency, which has resulted in many injuries and accidents. Use your safety mindset to create routines that incorporate safety into the steps. When you're working in pairs or teams, there's one more safety mindset area to consider: communication. When using tools or equipment, a simple failure to communicate can lead to accidents or injuries. Before you begin, ask these questions. Does everyone on the team know how to use the tools and equipment? Do you think anyone is embarrassed to admit they don't know? Does everyone have the correct PPE for their part? You can reassign roles based on PPE. Who has the best gloves? Who has a hard hat? Have you gone over hand signals or how to communicate starting and stopping? There are many resources online for hand signals. Use your cell phone to look at these together before you begin. Remember, when you work with a team, you might need to work more slowly and methodically to keep everyone safe. For example, when you call out, "All clear?" you have to wait for everyone to respond before proceeding. You now understand the importance and principles of the safety mindset. You know 2 ways to practice a safety mindset: by going through the decision tree and by evaluating your habits. And you've considered the impact of working in teams. Before you go on to the next unit, Use a piece of paper or a spreadsheet to inventory the tools, non-motorized equipment, and powered equipment that you use at your facility. In the guide, we've given you some day-to-day items to start your list. Be sure to also include items that you use for facility maintenance, such as cleaning equipment or handheld power tools. We'll refer to this inventory in the next videos.